morning. Please join me in standing for a different moment together. Please join me in standing. This morning, as we gather to start our Spirit Week, I want to ask you to bring to mind for a moment the people who've come before you and stood here in Fuller Hall each morning to meet every day together as a community, as one community, as we still do. Thank you. Here's Rory with the announcements.
Good morning, St. Johnsbury Academy. Today is Monday, October 17th, and it is a green day. Unfortunately, the Streeter Beach area on the second floor will be closed to student use for Monday and Tuesday. Students have been bringing plates from the dining hall and leaving them, and it has been too loud despite adequate asks and warnings. We believe that good citizens clean up after themselves and are respectful to the people around them. Don't forget that Wednesday is Twin Day, Thursday is Class Theme Day, and Friday is a green and white variety day. Get your outfits ready to show your best school spirit. Tickets for the 117th playing of the SJA LI game are now available for purchase at the Fieldhouse front desk. Everyone is required to have a ticket to enter the game. $5 for adults, $3 for students. Come join the outing club on what might be our last rock climbing trip of the season. Enjoy some late season foliage and test your physical limits this coming Sunday as the outing club heads to New Hampshire to rock out some epic rock climbing crag. No experience is necessary, but the spots are limited, so get your permission slips turned into the Student Life office ASAP. For details, see Mr. Holden or Mr. Rice. Dare to explore. Celebrate Spirit Week with the staff in the cafe. This week, they will be offering the following specials. Monday, froyo cones. Tuesday, pumpkin bars and pumpkin whoopie pies. Wednesday, jumbo hilltopper cookies. And on Thursday, brownies and froyo sundaes. The Intro to Baking class will be selling Oreo, raspberry swirl, and plain cheesecakes after school on Thursday. The Skills USA group will be selling stadium nachos, cookies, soda, and whoopie pies after Pep Chapel on Friday. Stop by the table in front of the library and fuel yourself up before working on the skit, hallway, and the float. One bite of cheesecake gives you enough energy to collect 10 pounds of cardboard. Help this year's bonfire be the biggest. Eat cheesecake and collect cardboard. Great Scott, class of 2023. Despite the most awkward voting process ever, it looks like we are decisively topping the timeline and going back to the future. Come help us this Spirit Week off to a 88 miles per hour start. Grab a friend and come to the hallway and float meeting in Morse 202. Or the skit meeting in the Res Life office with Mr. Ryan. Let's get ready to show the world what 2023 can do with 1.21 gigawatts. 2023 rocks. Attention, attention, Hilltopper Earthlings. One SJA is under attack by maroon aliens from the not-so-distant planet of Lindenville. Touchdown is less than a week away, and these aliens have evil intentions to disrupt our superior winning streak. But the junior MIB squad is here to protect our universe by foiling all alien plans, spewing our infectious spirit everywhere while erasing all memory of any alien invasion. SJA is the superior universe, and the juniors are here to defend our turf. Agent Hilltopper is in pursuit of fellow superior agents to join the MIB squad and neutralize all competitors. All junior recruits should report to the following locations to assist in preparations for Operation Homecoming 2022 after conference period today from 3:30 to 5. Float will prepare in Ranger 115. Hallway will materialize in Ranger 113, and the skit will congregate in Severance 23. Juniors, show up for Operation Homecoming today to start saving the Academy universe. As Carol Ann says in the 1982 blockbuster Poltergeist, they're here. Or better said, it's here. What's here, you ask? Spirit Week 2022 is here. As sophomore teen heartthrob Ferris Bueller said in 1986, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. Well, sophomores don't miss it. Nobody puts baby in a corner, so go ahead, make my day, and get yourself to the sophomore class meetings for skit, float, and hallway after conference period today. Skit meets in Severance 15, Mr. Bosco's room. Hallway meets in Streeter 208 in Miss Murphy's room, and float meets in Streeter 145 in Mr. Mitchell's room. Not sure if you'll know anyone there? Well, say hello to your little friend. They'll probably want to join you. Are you still lacking commitment? Do or do not. There is no try. Know that if you start to build it, they will come. I can guarantee that if you attend a skit, float, and hallway after conference period today, you will say to yourself, perhaps with an Australian accent, I'll be back. See you this afternoon. God, thank you. Happy birthday today to Maya Bukowski, Katie Netto, and Lily Cal. A special happy birthday, belated birthday to Mr. Lejean, who celebrated his birthday yesterday. Happy birthday. Today for sports, we have varsity field hockey at North Country at 4:30. Please dismiss the team at 1:30. And varsity boys and girls soccer at Brattleboro at 3 o'clock. Please dismiss the team at 11:30. That's all, and have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, Rory. Well done. Very nice. I have a few late announcements. Spirit Palms will be $1 all week, so you can stock up on those. Cheerleaders will be selling them around campus. Buy them and show your school spirit. Come celebrate after the game at the Spirit Week Dance on Saturday from 7 to 10 with a cost of $3. The word spirit in Spirit Week refers to what we are all showing this week. This dance is not to be confused with the Halloween dance, which will happen the week after. So show up in the gym before 8 p.m. as the doors will close. In 3 weeks, Americans will cast a vote to determine the direction of our country in the midterm elections. When voting, it's important to make a wise choice for the candidate who listens but does not speak, is firm but flexible, and provides support and protection. Vote cardboard in 2022. Show your support for cardboard by saving it up and bringing it in on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for the bonfire. Drop up. Cardboard. Yes. All right, a few wins. Varsity volleyball beat Montpelier 3-1, and the JV team won 2-0. Varsity football beat Rutland on senior night 56-28. JVA boys soccer beat Essex 3-1. Ricardo Salinas and Ryder Busto were the scorers for the team. JVB soccer tied Mount Mansfield 3-3. Good job, guys. I think we're going to hear more about boys cross country tomorrow. But happy Monday, happy Spirit Week, everyone. Holy cow, well done with the announcements, Rory. Now, we are fortunate to have a special guest this morning to speak with us and help us to meet this moment in all its complexity, as good teachers do, with the story. Please help me welcome back to the stage Mr. Weiss.
I'm sorry, everyone. You're probably all sick of seeing me at this point. Good morning. I really wish I could be here today telling jokes like Mr. Camelio did a couple weeks ago. Doing bits for my favorite comedians would be great. People like Mel Brooks, Lenny Bruce, Gilda Radner, Sarah Silverman, Billy Crystal, Adam Sandler, Mr. Camelio's favorite, Jacob Rodney Cohen, otherwise known as Rodney Dangerfield. All these comedians have one thing in common. They're all Jewish. And growing up Jewish, as I did, there was always representation for us among the comedians of the world. It was a solace, a place for us to recognize people like us, and for me to internalize this idea about the culture that I was a part of, that we really know how to laugh. I would give my Uncle Stanley a phone call, and the first thing he'd say to me is, "Hey kid, what do you got for me?" And I knew at that point I had to drag out whatever joke I had looked up in preparation for the phone call. But it didn't start out that way. When I was 6, I remember standing at the bottom of the back stoop of my house, and I remember looking up at my father. I just asked him about this the other day, and he didn't remember it. But I remember it very, very clearly. I looked up at him, and I had something to unload. I had to tell him because it was important information for a 6-year-old, which is that I didn't like Jews. And he said, "Well, son, you're going to have to deal with that because you are one." Now, I have no idea how I got this absurd idea that I didn't like a whole category of people, and that it happened to be Jews that I didn't like. And the irony of it was not anywhere close to my mind at 6. I have no memory of that source of that. But it seemed so obvious, but a little unsettling, that I didn't like Jews. It was clear, of course. These are the people I don't like. And then when he said that, in response, it was as if the whole world kind of started to do that thing where it turns, but instead of like turning upside down, it was like coming right side up. It was sort of like, you had a terrible idea in your mind, and it's over. I knew at that point pretty quickly, even though I was young, to the core, that this incomprehensibly stupid and depressingly shameful idea was just gone. I was Jewish. I can't, and I'm not going to hate me. So here I am 39 years later, and we're here together as a community, trying to process a pretty ugly public expression of white supremacist ideology and symbols and symbology. It is a transgression against our community that we're trying to process. But it's not a healthy or even marginally unhealthy transgression. It's not like long hair when we had the rules against it for our young men. It's not consistent violations of dress code or some kind of teenage rebellion. It's not messing around with your friends and making jokes with people you know and who know you and who are close with you. It's the sad truth here is that these words and actions remind us, me, Jews, of our Jewishness and its near destruction in the Holocaust. They remind me that my relatives were murdered. They remind our Jewish students of the trauma we've spent our lives internalizing, imagining. What would I have done? I'm a Jew. I'm going to warn you all that what I have to say next is disturbing. But it's something I've lived with very closely for my life. I've imagined these things carefully, and few of my imaginings have come out are those in which I have come out alive. So have you, in your mind, walked through the gates of Auschwitz-Birkenau, where there were 1 million people murdered, there were 7,500 survivors when the camps were liberated? About the population of St. Johnsbury. Have you imagined Treblinka, where there were 800,000 prisoners and no survivors? When the Soviets arrived along a road that was black with ash, the locals called it the Black Road. Instead of people, they found only flowers growing in a soil that had barely concealed some horrifying fertilizer. Looking closely, they found bones, teeth, and hair. But I don't have to imagine these stories because I have my own family's stories. My Aunt Marischka lived in a chicken coop about as big as a bathroom stall for 4 years in Hungary to ride out the war. She came to New York afterwards. My Uncle Charlie, who I grew up with, he was about 10, the age of my son. Actually, my son's 11 now. But Charlie was 10 in 1937 when his father was taken away by the Gestapo and beaten and returned in the morning. And his father, who owned a textile factory, had the resources to immediately, and also the presence of mind, to immediately get his family together and quickly get to the United States of America. And they too came to New York in 1937. My Uncle Charlie died only about 10 years ago. But he was lucky. They had connections, they had resources. Most didn't. In 2000, I traveled to Eastern Europe, and I sat in a crematorium, unchanged. I gathered into my hands ashes of my ancestors. I sat in the room thinking, I would have ended here. Most of us in Vermont don't have to think about these things. We've not thought in these ways because we don't have to, because most people here in Vermont aren't Jewish. Even learning about it, which I know many of you have consistently, pretty comfortable in the fact that you knew it wouldn't have been me. You can be sympathetic, caring, kind, safely removed. Know that your friends here who are Jewish, for me, it's never been removed. It's deep and it's present. I don't have the luxury to be free of such horrific thoughts, and neither do your Jewish friends and colleagues. The reality is that my Greek mother wouldn't have saved me from the ovens. And if you're sitting here today and you're LGBT plus community, you're Roma, you're disabled, Jehovah's Witness, maybe you're North African or Middle Eastern, maybe you're Sub-Saharan African, you also would have been the targets of Nazi hatred, Nazi work camps, indiscriminate killing, invalidation of your humanity. So these actions and these words that I know are happening in our community, beyond the swastikas in the bathroom, are slowly destroying these people who are acting them out. And that's an important part of what I want to say today. It's a one-way road to a degradation of the self, to anger and hatred and violence. It may seem small now, but it won't stay that way. The only real way out is sort of a full stop and a turnaround. To be shocked the way I was when I was 6 and I told my father I didn't like Jews and he told me to get used to being one. That shock is powerful. And thankfully, we're in a community of kids. You're young and you can save yourselves. And we're here to support that. But the road is dark and the violence is real, and your Jewish friends are right to fear it and know that they feel that fear when these things happen. Any symbol of Nazi ideology, any words that are intended to remind us, Jews, of the site of our greatest destruction are going to feel terrible not only for the horrors of the past, but for the very real dangers of the present. Just 4 years ago in Pittsburgh, a man who had spent a lot of time on social media sites writing, quote, "Jews are the children of Satan," walked into a synagogue, the Tree of Life congregation, with a Colt AR-15, 3 Glock 357 SIGs, and in 9 minutes killed 11 people. Reportedly, he was yelling, "All Jews must die." So I'm also here, though, for all of the rest of us. Most of you out there have not really dreamed of carving a swastika into a wall or made some other kind of bigoted comment to one of your Jewish friends, or dropped a hard R-N word at a black student, or affected a fake Chinese accent to an East Asian student as they pass you by, or triumphantly announced your superior manhood over one who does not express their gender in the way that you think is natural and right. Most of us don't do these things. But most of us also do not say anything when they happen. The way we respond to those things, and I'm talking to our students, but I'm also talking to my colleagues, the way we respond is important. And our tendency to be dismissive or to be too scared to figure out what to do in a weird and uncomfortable situation is not good for us. We have agency. We have a capacity to speak when we see people being hurt or when we see hurtful things. We all have that agency. One of the great tragedies, in my opinion, of the Holocaust was how many people did not use their agency to try to stop the Nazis, try to stop the Germans. It was possible. But overwhelmingly and quickly, it became a sort of a general attitude that they were unstoppable. One of the most inspiring examples of the courage to say no was Sophie Scholl, a 22-year-old German college student who worked very courageously to oppose the Nazis. She was beheaded by guillotine in 1943. Jan Karski, a young Polish soldier, risked his life again and again to go into the camps and then come out and then take all that information and send it to Western media and say, hey, like, this is happening. He was smart, he was well-trained, most of all, he was incredibly lucky. And he's one of 27,000 people recognized as, quote, righteous among the nations, people who tried to help Jews against the Nazis. They often lost their lives. Even if they didn't lose their lives, most of them they had things to lose. They lost careers, they lost reputations. But the good news is that it's easier than ever to do the right thing, to do something like that. You don't need to risk your life anymore. You don't need to risk your reputation, your career. You simply need to recognize that you have agency and you have power and you need to use your voice. And if you cannot use that agency and that power in the moment, say something to me or to some other trusted adult. We have power. We will use it. Help us use it. The targets of white supremacist ideas need you the most. I'm sorry, your Jewish friends, your black friends need you. Like I needed my father when I was 6. They need you because they need us, and they need us to be us. Now, perhaps even more, though, those committing these acts need you terribly. They need all of us to help turn them around, to help them find empathy, to help flip that world back to the right side, and to do what we all most need to do, to connect with one another in joy and in peace and in shared humanity. Thank you.
Mr. Weiss, thank you for that gift of insight. It's a gift to have a call to action of acknowledging and embracing and facing our challenges as a community. It's a gift to have a way forward. Thank you for giving us a way forward, frankly, into this Spirit Week, which has been and remains so precious to the Academy. It's a gift and a privilege to be in a community that's gathered to learn and to grow to be better and to connect in peace and in joy. So let's do that this week. Faculty.